We need to simplify this algebraic fraction. So we are going to need to factorise the numerator and the denominator. Thankfully they're both pretty easy to factorise, so it shouldn't be too difficult, because the numerator has got a 2 at the front, so we know it's got to be a 2x here and an x there. It's got a 5 over here, so we know it can only be a 1 and a 5. We then just need to be careful about whether the 1 goes here or whether the 1 goes here. So which way round do the 1 and the 5 go? We also need to be careful because we know one of them has to be a positive, one of them has to be a negative. The way I can find out which way they go is by looking at the +9 here. So I'm going to make this a +5. The reason I'm going to make that the +5 is because then I get 2x times 5, which is 10x, and then I know I just need to take 1 away to get the 9. So this will give me 10x, this will give me -1x, so that gives me the 9x there, and there we go, we're fully factorised. On the denominator, I know I'm going to have a 6x squared at the front. Now, I could have a 6x and an x, or I could have a 3x and a 2x. I'm not entirely sure about that yet. I know that's a +1 here, so I know it's got to be a 1 and a 1, or a -1 and a -1. Well, considering it's a minus here, I know it's got to be a minus and a minus. Then, now I just need to decide, is it a 6x and an x, or is it a 3x and a 2x, or a 2x and a 3x? I know this is going to be, and I'm going to use a little, if I was doing this formally, I'll tell you about a little cheat in a minute. If I was doing this formally, remember I know I've got to have a -5x here. So if I had that as a 6x and that as an x, then I know that that wouldn't work, because I would have 6x times -1, which would be -6x. Then I'd have -1 times x, which would be -x, which would add together and give me -7x, which is not going to work. So I know it's not a 6 and a 1. I know it has to be a 3 and a 2. And just to check that, 2x times -1 will give -2x. -1 times 3x gives -3x. And when I add them together, I get the -5x. So I know that that works. The little cheat that I was going to tell you about is, just because this is an exam question, it's told me to simplify this. I know what I have on the bottom. Something I have on the bottom is going to cancel with something on the top, because that's the whole point of the question. So once I got to the point where I was looking at this and I was trying to figure it out, what these would be, I know one of these has got to match up with what's on the top. And obviously it's not going to have anything to do with the +5 there, it's going to have to do with this. So I knew there had to be a 2 here to match up with this, so that those things cancel out. So that's a bit of a cheat to do that question to make your factorisation a bit easier here. But hopefully you understood how to do that properly. There we go.